ChairShot Podcast coming to you on a Monday here again as we accommodate another bank holiday, this time in the Republic of Ireland. Myself and Paul skiving for the day, doing out. I mean, literally, I've done nothing. Let me tell you, folks, if you're expecting some life guff about some bank holiday adventures, well, you ain't getting any. You ain't getting any because I didn't do anything. It's been quite hot, but also quite rainy here. So it has not been much of a kind of, oh hell, beer garden, let's go to the beach and, you know, do bank holiday things. Not really here for me anyway. Also enjoying the banker, of course, is Paul. Paul, how are you doing?
Very much enjoying it. I was playing some golf earlier.
Golf, you say?
I do. I'm not very good at it.
And it's fun. But you, I mean, there was once upon a time on the pod where you were working on your golf game quite a lot, were you not?
Yeah, this is my first time playing in a year, though, so I'm a little bit rusty. A little bit of practice.
Rounding out the team here, working away while the rest of us are dossing. It's Joe.
Working away, baby, 9 till 6. You know, burning the old midnight oil candle, both ends.
That's what they say. That's
Don't
what
even
they
stop
say.
for lunch. Just ploughing through.
9 to 6, that's a bit much. I would consider that burning the candle at both ends if you went so far as 6. I would.
I mean, 6 o'clock is the evening, isn't it, really? When you think about
Yes. Yeah.
that is like bedtime in some ways. But yeah. Keep going back in the old office tomorrow. So I think the only good thing about being back in the office is that I've made the most of the commute to start reading again. So rather than just looking at my phone like all the other fucking plebs on the train, I'm reading a book to work and on the way back. So I've already read 2 books since I started this job.
I know this guy.
I'm starting the 3rd one tomorrow, so that'll be dispatched in no time at all. So yeah, reviews of them later on.
Are you going physical book?
Yeah, I can't read a Kindle. It's like reading a thermostat. It's just like walking around with a picture frame. I just go, what? It's not a real book. Yeah, I've tried that, but I couldn't get on with it really. Like a proper book.
We got a show lined up for you folks. Let me tell you, we've got all your regularly scheduled features. We got movies, we got wrestling, we got game golf and all that other stuff to chit chat about. As I say, not really much going on in the life golf here for me. Very quiet bank holiday weekend for moi. I'm being a real pain in the bum because I'm going to be busy again next Sunday. I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to like either delay the broadcast or something like that. It's Summer Games Fest, Paul.
It is
for us nerds, which is when people complain about non-game people, they complain about, oh god, the Super Bowl, it's just become all about ads now. Oh, isn't it really cynical? And it's kind of, where's the love of the game? Well, gamers just you congregate like once a year to just watch ads, and just watch trailers for things and either get excited for them or get mad at them. So that's on this week. I'll be streaming all week this week. Pretty much all week this week I'm streaming. And on Sunday, counter programming us, sick bastards. Microsoft are doing their thing and they're showing off the new Gears of War and that. God, remember that?
They still
2006.
Microsoft.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the reaction to most of their output. Really is. Anyway, so yeah, that's coming up this week. Any other life stuff before we jump into our various features, boys? What have you been up to this week? Anything else you wanted to make note of before we jump into the run sheet?
Oh, the Meister. You enjoyed the old Champos League-o, Joe, did you?
Yeah, I watched a bit of that. Good. Had a pizza, so it was nice.
Okay.
That was the best bit, really. Pizza. Yeah, it was a very boring game because Arsenal didn't play any football. They just tried to get in the way. Yeah, I don't think they necessarily deserved to win. When they did try and attack, it just couldn't put anything together. So, you're asking for trouble. If you try and hang on for, 86 minutes, not going to work, baby. So, yeah.
It's funny, though, because I felt like if Arsenal were going to win, that was exactly the game that they needed to have. Get an early goal and just shut up shop. It very almost worked. I mean, it worked for a long time.
But, you know, it only takes one mistake. Kind of remind me of England versus Italy in the Euro final.
A little bit.
You know, 1-0 up early, try and defend, but you're always going to risk a penalty or a set piece or a bit of magic. It's the problem. So I think they should have gone all out because they won the league. It's like, fuck it. If we lose the Champions League final, it doesn't matter. So just go mad. They should have just fucking gone mad. They didn't.
Yeah, but they're so drilled in one style of football that I think it would be very difficult for them to go out and just play a mad game. Like, that's not how they're wired.
5 strikers. Get them on.
Actually, I tell you what, Joe, you probably will know where I'm coming from. If I would be playing Football Manager and I'm 1-0 down with like 10 minutes to go, I sometimes just go like 8 forwards up.
Yeah. I remember I once did that. I was managing Aberdeen and I decided to start the season with a 3-2-5 formation,
right,
which I have to say was bold. Didn't win the league in the end, I'll be honest, but, you know, certainly scored a few goals. So.
Concede the most goals in the league?
Yeah, but good to expect.
Where did you come down on the Arsenal penalty claim? Because that seemed to be very divisive.
Well, if it had been given, I don't think you'd have gone, yeah, all right. But if it's not, I don't think you can shout about it.
It looked like Madueke underhooked his arm and then fell down. Was kind of where I fell on this, the side of that fence. I did not think it was a penalty. I thought it was a fair call by the referee. I wouldn't have given it based on the replays, but you do see those given for a sort of clumsy-ish. You know, if you're behind someone, you're trying to get the ball. It's a bit clumsy sometimes. You know, as a given, but yeah, not a bit. It felt like one of those ones. You're right. They are given, but one of those ones where the defend or the attacker will sort of hang the leg slightly for the defender to catch it.
I don't see that as like a defining moment of the final or anything really.
No, I would have actually enjoyed had it been given. That would have made the game a little bit more exciting at least.
Yeah.
But as it was, really, Paris Saint-Germain trying to score. I mean, look, Arsenal, in a sense, played very well, we have to say, defensively. I mean, again, they played the game, I would say, pretty much exactly as their game time was laid out for. Paris really didn't look like scoring for a long time until, big clumsy mascara, give away a pen, which definitely was a penalty. Yeah. And then it went to pens as it just seemed, I mean, from the time Arsenal scored the first goal, my feeling was this game is probably one that's going to go to penalties. Did indeed. And this is the thing. I mean, I did a lot of screaming during the penalties because I feel like people, I don't know if they overthink penalties. I don't know if they get too much in their own heads or whatever. But number one, you got to hit the target. You got to hit the target with your
penalty. Get it on. It's very hard to score if you don't get it on target. Yeah. So I'll say that. I
mean, Eberechi, who's had a great season and who I think is a really, really top player, does this little stuttering, jittery, fucking Parkinson's run up, and then it's a wide. You know,
I hate that.
Yeah,
he's such a good striker of the ball. I mean, he knocks it in from 40 yards. Just hit it in the net. Hit it.
And then my thing, and I said this about the Ireland penalties when we lost to the Czech Republic a little while ago. I think it should become, well, it can't become the norm because then it's predictable. You got to be unpredictable ultimately, I guess. But if I was a manager of a football team, not of like a Tesco or something, I had my team, I would say, listen, Paris, okay? If Arsenal miss any of their penalties, the next penalty, you just run up, hit it as hard as you can down the centre. Because I was screaming at TV, Nuno Mendes, who was taking the next one, he just needs to blast this down the centre, just get it in. He's just a little side foot, it's saved. I'm like, okay, you've lost your advantage, you know? If the other team misses, you need to be certain that your next one goes in. Just hit it really hard down the centre, keeper typically won't stand in the centre and catch it, but they missed. And then Gabriel, who again, like Geze has had a super good season.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely head of hair on him, lovely set of teeth on him. I'd love to know what catalogue he picked those out of, by the way. Let me have a look at that. Blasted over the bar. Or the worst way to lose, a penalty over the bar, isn't it?
Terrible.
Terrible. And that was that. And I will say as well, from a Manchester United fan, such as I am, a little bit of karma, because Gabriel should have been sent off when he had, but it happened that time. Remember that? And he missed the pen. I mean, I fully expect Arsenal will probably be in the running this time next year. So, I feel like very different situation, very different team. But I could very easily see Arsenal having a bit of a run like that 08 to 2011 United team, where they'd be in like 3 out of 4 finals. I could see Arsenal very easily next year. So I think they got a few cracks at it.
They could get there again. You see it a lot. PSG lost in the final. Liverpool lost in the final 2018, won it 2019. City lost to Chelsea, then won it. You know?
I think a lot of the English teams in the Champions League are going to be really weaker next year than they were this year. So from that point of view, I think Arsenal will have. I mean, Liverpool, lots gone. Obviously, we won't talk about that. But Sloth of a Fool let go. Which I was sad to see him go. Very funny manager. City without Pep. Villa. It depends on who they sign in the summer. Villa maybe have a good run at it. United, it's still kind of unproven. I don't know. I feel like Arsenal are going to have a strong crack at it again next year, and maybe the next year or two they do pick up one. I think ultimately. That's all the game guff. I was going to say the football game guff. I did visit Hoth yesterday. Lovely Irish seaside town. And I had my first ever visit. This will hopefully do a little bit to roll back my reputation as a red-blooded Englishman. Been my little Union Jack fist in the air. But I did visit Ireland's oldest chipper, Leo Burdocks.
Oh.
That's some lovely chippies in there. Oh, very nice. But yeah, Hoth, really, really nice. But been there multiple times, and I love visiting that part of Ireland because they have a lovely farmers market. They have a lovely cliff walk. You can go up and walk for a little hike for a couple of hours, and it was really, really nice. The weather was raining when I got on the train, but when I arrived, there was no rain, so that was. And then I watched a very funny movie when I came out, which I'll talk about later. That's the news.
That's the news and the life guff for the week. What is the fantasy update for the week?
Now, Joe and Barry, you boys had some sanctity toile.
Oh, really?
You share. Excusez-moi, monsieur. Est-ce que je peux avoir un peu? No stars for you. Which leaves me at a paltry 26 points for the page, 57 for Joe, a big old 76 for Baz.
Decent.
Wait a minute, who's this winning the TV for the week? It's Paul making the
Oh, that's nice.
12 points for me on Dynamite. Oh, I also never updated the collision points. I'm 6 points. 6 points for Joe on Dynamite, 12 for me, and 9 for Barry. Off the top of my head, I know Mox picked up a win in collision. Anyone else on these teams on the show? Is it Arthur Cassidy?
Yeah, Cassidy.
Megan Bain and Lena Cross. By the way, I know we had a precedence with this when Max Caster was doing the Survive ever with the Professor Live. And we gave Roosh the win when he survived the time limit. So I'm going to be doing the same for AJ and counting that as a win for them and a loss for Megan Bain.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's what the match was. It's a Survive 5 minutes match. So they lost in my mind. But that's where we are. Yeah, like I say, which means that Takeshita and Adam Copeland scored a big 23 for the pay-per-view. Very close to MJF's 28 for winning the world title. And then Joe, unfortunately, obviously gave Cash Weaver the boot. He got a 5-point bonus there. So Christian Cage, I think, has the highest points per match now.
Nice.
He's now at 7.75 points per match because he's only had 4 matches this year, but he got 31 points. I am starting to look now at. I'm not going to do it this week, but I am looking at a trade because. I don't know what the worst saying. I mean, we'll see who the wild card is. I don't expect it to be Mercedes.
No.
I think we're getting to the stage where I might need to look elsewhere. Mystico as well. Mystico, I got wrapped up in the entry of that being Mystico is signed thing at Revolution, whatever that was. Where is he?
If he wrestled since, I don't think he's had a match since, is it?
I don't think so.
Good Lord.
I would have been better off bringing in Anthony Gogo. He would have got more points for me.
Yep. Yeah, it wouldn't be too. Yeah, the thing about the wild card as well is, I guess people are
wild card with Jamie Hayter.
That's my
prediction.
Which I look. They had an injury, so it's tough. So you got to figure something out with the resources you got. I always think in 2026 it's tough to do a wild card and have it be just a person from the roster. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that match would be good. I think it'd be a really fun match. But it's people expect surprises. But yeah, I think you're both right.
Yeah. Okay. We do also have a quiz.
Oh,
here we go.
I like busy in this house. And it's a return of an old favorite. By which I mean a quiz we did once.
I looked at this name on the run sheet. If you told me you just invented this today, I would have believed you. I have no recollection of this at all.
The People's Highbrow.
People's Highbrow.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Large enough.
It is very much that. This is a quiz inspired by House of Games.
Ah, yes.
Formerly Richard Osman's House of Games, but not anymore. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you a very highbrow question. And if you get the highbrow question and answer correctly, you'll get 2 points. If you don't know the answer, I'll then give you a lowbrow question, which has the same answer. And if you get the lowbrow question right, you'll score 1 point. That's something to keep in mind, because even if you don't know the answer to the highbrow question, when you then get the lowbrow question, maybe think back to the highbrow question, see if you can work it out.
Okay.
So the lowbrow questions are going to be pretty easy. I've tried to make it a little bit balanced. That's not just who is Darby Allin. Try a little bit to it, but some of the lowbrow questions you will get. So it's more a case of, can you eke out one of the highbrow ones? And we have a tiebreaker that we have to use. Joe,
right?
You want block A or block B of questions?
B.
Okay.
I'm locked in.
We're going to go back and forth, okay? Joe, here's your highbrow question, okay? It's math related.
Ooh.
It's mathematics.
Posh maths.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, let A and B be distinct positive integers such that A plus B equals 6 and GCD brackets A comma B equals 2. Determine the ordered factorization so that A by B.
Huh?
Was that the question, or were you just telling us a story?
That is the question.
So let's do it one more time.
Let A and B be distinct positive integers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Such that A plus B equals 6 and GCD brackets A comma B equals 2. Determine the ordered factorization A by B.
DX.
Very good guess. It is a mathematic.
That's a mathematic terminology. Yeah.
I think I know the answer to this one, but I want to hear this.
Well, let me give Joe the low.
Of course.
Yo, which wrestling weapon is commonly associated with Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
2x4.
2x4 is correct.
Okay, I was definitely wrong because my answer was 9 to that equation. So I was
No. Determine the ordered factorization A by B means give me the answer in the format A by B. Yeah, ordered starting with the smallest number and then the largest number. Because 4 by 2, I guess, would have also been correct.
Right.
Okay, 1 point for Joe. Barry, are you ready?
I was ready to that.
Real question. This is to do with English and physics.
Okay.
This is very university challenge here. Barry, which title would result if one were to prepend an adverb denoting rapidity to the cardinality of the set of platonic solids?
One more time. Go again.
Which title
Okay.
would result if one were to prepend an adverb denoting rapidity?
Rapidity. Okay.
Yeah. To the cardinality of the set of platonic solids.
I have no idea.
A lowbrow question for points, Barry. Which is the first Fast and Furious movie that starred Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
Fast 5?
Is correct for 1 point. Very good.
I don't know what's the highbrow question.
An adverb denoting rapidity is, of course, fast. And the cardinality of the set of platonic solids is equal to 5.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you prepend that adverb to the cardinality of the
Of
set
course.
of platonic of fast 5. Geography for Joe. How's your geography?
Oh, yeah, very good. Yeah.
Very good. Okay. N'Djamena is the capital city of which African country?
Which African country? Say again?
N'Djamena.
N'Djamena.
Capital city of which African country?
N'Djamena.
That's N'Djamena.
N'Djamena. I'm going to say Uganda.
It's not Uganda. For 1 point, what is the first name of the wrestler who, until very recently, portrayed the original El Grande Americano?
Chad.
That is correct.
Very good.
Oh.
Very good.
Chad. N'Djamena is the capital of Chad. Yeah. Barry, this is a history question for you.
Okay.
Which luxury hotel brand was created in 1946 by Pan Am founder Juan Tripp?
Well, there was a chain called the Trip Hotels with a Y.
Trippe.
Oh, okay, never mind then.
These are all wrestling themed.
Of course, yeah. So I'm just going through my head. I'm like, okay, it's probably not Hilton, right? Because there's not a Hilton related question for wrestling. And I'm kind of thinking, is there a wrestling related question for fucking Marriott? Premier Inn? I don't know. I will just say Marriott.
It's not Marriott. It is lowbrow question time. Which championship was allegedly first held by Pat Patterson?
Intercontinental?
Correct.
I have never heard of the Intercontinental. What is it, John Wick?
Oh, he only says to the Premier Inn.
I just say the Premier Inn, obviously.
Okay. Next up for Joe, we have film.
Ah, okay, here we go. Yeah.
And in Andrei Tarkovsky's 1975 film Mirror, the narrative structure is often described as being composed of how many interwoven temporal strands?
I believe that would be 7.
It's not 7.
Oh.
Lowbrow time. How many times has MJF held the AEW World Championship?
3.
It is 3. You. Barry, back to you. What is the name of the type of company that consists of several different and unrelated business entities which operate in various industries.
Conglomeration?
Oh,
got it.
Very good.
Finally, I am highbrow.
The low-brow question was, which wrestling faction has included members Tomohiro Ishii and Hologram? Okay. Barry takes a 1-point lead there. Back to Joe to grab it back here. Joe, I have a question for you. This is sports.
Yeah, there we go.
Although used to define all wrestlers participating in sumo wrestling matches, which term is more commonly used to refer to professional wrestlers employed by the Japan Sumo Association who participate in professional sumo tournaments called Honbacho? Although used to define all wrestlers participating in sumo wrestling matches, which term is more commonly used to refer to professional wrestlers employed by the Japan Sumo Association who participate in professional sumo.
So I know 2 sumo terms are used in wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Rikishi.
He's got it.
Well done.
Very good. Lowbrow question. WWF wrestler The Sultan would go on to more success under which much cooler gimmick? So back to Barry here. Both got one highbrow right, so it's very good. Barry, which 1980s American primetime soap opera featured the characters Blake Carrington and Crystal Jennings?
I don't know, obviously. Again, trying to think of let me think of the ones I could name that might have a wrestling connection. Days of Our Lives, probably not. That's the only one I know. It Never Ends. This isn't a soap opera. I'll take a guess anyway. Dallas?
Oh, very good guess.
It's good, but it's not right.
Not Dallas. And actually, while creating this quiz, I confused what the answer is for Dallas. So
okay,
you're on the boss. Lowbrow question. At which pay-per-view has Swerve Strickland both challenged successfully and unsuccessfully separate main event for the AEW World Championship?
Success. Oh, actually. Oh, all right. Dynasty. Yes.
Dynasty.
I could have gotten that. Dang.
Yeah, for 1 point. So we're level going into the final set of questions. Joe, we have movies for you.
Yes.
No, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry, this is the other side. Sorry. Joe, it's what category would this be? Electronics, let's say. Which audio electronics company produces the Go, Clip, and Boombox model of Bluetooth speaker?
Oh, come on. I must know this. It's like... What was it? Go, Boombox?
The Go, Clip, and Boombox models of Bluetooth speaker.
No. I'll say Sharp.
Not Sharp. For Lowbrow, which wrestler ended Eddie Guerrero's solo run with the WWE World Championship?
Oh, very good.
Who did Eddie lose to? God, I don't even know.
Which wrestler ended Eddie Guerrero's sole run with the WWE World Championship?
He beat Lesnar. He defended it on Mania.
Yeah.
And he lost... Who did he have lost to? Angle?
It's not Angle.
Oh.
It is also the name of an electronics company. It is JBL.
JBL, yeah.
Oh, fucking hell. I knew JBL. Bollocks.
Barry for the win here.
Okay.
Movies, as I almost gave to Joe for a second time in the one quiz. Which 1940s Alfred Hitchcock film was his only to win Best Picture at the Oscars?
Okay, I don't know the answer to this question, but I'm like, okay, there's two here that I think could have a wrestling connection. So I'm like, do I go Psycho or do I go Birds? I'm going to go Birds. The Birds.
It's not.
Dang!
I'm afraid. And then for the win, unfortunately for Joe, you're probably going to get this one. What is Becky Lynch's real first name?
Rebecca?
Is correct. Right.
I've never heard of Rebecca. His one Oscar winning film.
His one Best Picture winning. And I have a little note here. We'll do the tiebreaker anyway, but I do have a little note here. Obviously, we had the Kidman controversy.
Yeah.
And so I will say there was one that I thought I don't. Hands up, I've learned from my mistakes. Okay. But I wanted to have one where the answer to the Highbrow question was going to be Eddie Hearns, and the Lowbrow question was going to be what happens if you mess with the ball? What do you get? The Hearns.
Yeah, okay, that was probably for the best we didn't go to the tiebreaker.
We did not.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
I don't know. I'm very Dwayne Johnson Buster brains lately.
That is one politically correct way to describe it. That is definitely that's fine.
No, I like the people's highbrow. I'll be honest, some of them are a bit too hard. Maybe that's all I'd say.
The sock one compared to the first one you asked, where it sounded like you drew up a question and then put every word of it through a thesaurus or on words. You know.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
But, you know,
and good to mean that it's the capital city and. Let A and B be distinct positive integers, and who beat Eddie Guerrero. I mean, he's just
but it was good. I like that. I think that was a fun quiz.
Well, we're doing a tiebreaker just for fun. It's a tiebreaker where we also have highbrow and the lowbrow, so you can use both of these. In chemistry, what is the atomic number of the element scandium? Any idea? Which I too quickly.
22.
69.
And then the tiebreaker or the lowbrow version, keep in mind the your numbers you've said, including NXT shows and counting each WrestleMania night separately, how many PLEs did WWE hold in 2024?
Oh God, I have no idea.
18.
19.
You were actually closer with your answer.
Oh, 23?
The atomic number of scandium. It's 21.
21. Yeah, that's hard.
Very, very close. Very, very close. Anyway, that's a fun little quiz.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Kidman will be back next week, so don't worry.
Oh, don't fear not. Fire. Fire. Segueing to Dynamite / Collision for the week. This is a weird one. We had 3-hour Dynamite / Collision, and then we also had a 2-hour Collision as well.
Yeah.
What was that about?
I don't quite know what that was about, but
I think it was because the week before, or whatever the week of Double or Nothing, we had a 3-hour Collision, 3-hour Dynamite with the 1-hour Collision, and they never did the second hour of Collision. So I think this was filling in that gap.
Well, obviously TK was listening to us last week, reviewing the show when he put together this week's show, because we did kick off with another Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay in the training room. The segment this week.
Omega recovering from that cigar.
Yeah. Oh dear. Had a conversation about the Death Riders. You know, what are you getting into? And he's like, I would have been there for you if you needed help. And Ospreay was like, you're never here though, are you? So what's up with that? Moxley came in and gave Ospreay a pep talk, and he left. And as he was leaving, he said, don't forget about that world title, Kenny. And he said, you too. So feels like they did reignite that flame a little bit, just to let people know that this is still a possible match for Wembo.
Does this make you feel that match is more likely?
Yes, going back to this type of segment again, I think that was a little reminder. I think even they probably know that they pretty much just ripped Kenny out of anything interesting and put him on that stupid Stadium Stampede detour. So it was probably like important to get him back. By the way, on the subject of Wembo, I forgot to mention in the news, Redemption revealed July pape from Canada. Not much else to say about it, but that leaked a million different times.
That if this is the direction they're going to go in, does Kenny win the title?
It would make sense, wouldn't it, to have the Canadian guy win it in Canada and then have the British guy chasing as you go into Wembley?
Yeah. Changing the belt a lot, though.
They are changing it a lot.
Bit of a hot potato. Yeah, I was thinking, would it be? It's got to be. Maybe it is got to be Omega Ospreay then, but I just don't like that. I don't think that's the best match you can make. I think MJF's been tremendous business wise. I think you put your top guy in there, not some part timer like fucking Kenny Omega, aka The Undertaker, coming in for the big show.
He's booking Triple A, is he?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
It's weird. Thinking back to 2023, they obviously did the babyface versus babyface main event, and then 2024. Correct me if I'm wrong. They like turned Swerve heel basically just for that feud because he was like babyface before and then was babyface after again. Once they were reluctant to have a proper face heel, but now he's going to Wembley.
I don't know. It doesn't feel as you can look at this as a good or a bad thing, but it doesn't feel very locked in, does it?
No.
Because even last week in our conversation, we were kind of talking about like, how do you kind of get there, But anyway, show opened proper with Kevin Knight coming out to address his actions at the pay-per-view. The short version was that he put his trust in Darby Allin. And he wanted him to keep MJF at bay, and not lose the title to him, and he lost it to him, and I guess he was disappointed in him for that. I was not crazy about this explanation. I got to be honest. What did you guys make of it?
Your silence speaks volume.
Okay.
It was wishy-washy. It was he could have just come out here and be like, look, I never liked this Darby guy. Look at him. He was this little dweeb was a champion. Look at me. I look like $1 million. I'm the one who beat MJF like it was nothing. This guy, why is the one thing I did like that he said was like, I've been knocking it that knocking doors off left and right. I'm not even on pay-per-view. What's that about?
Yeah.
Do I look like a bench player? I did like that. That maybe should have been more of the focus than an aside. And you could play into the fact that like he's on the bench and someone like Darby Allin is not only on the show but is the champion. Like what is that? In the AEW, what kind of champion does that to have when he's looking as good as he looks? And that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the turn. I didn't like this. But let's get on. Let him get on with it. Just get him a heel.
Yeah.
No,
I also didn't like that he came out and did the local sports team stuff. I'm not inherently against it, but I think in your big main event, this is a big thing for me, and it's a big I think everyone was united in not wanting him to go out there and say, I don't know you people, an explanation. But I would consider going out there and the first thing being out of your mouth some kind of fucking local sports team jab. I would say that's in the same ballpark of annoying, boring, trite stuff that I have no interest in hearing. So yeah, that was annoying. Anyway,
it just feels like to me that it wasn't something where they would have had to be too creative to come up with something viable.
Right.
It felt very safe, and also Knight delivery is for me not quite there yet.
Still not. No, I would agree. Mike Bailey came
Two
out.
of them came out in a
Dressed like a man from an 80s.
dude.
Yeah, dressed like a man from an 80s soap opera. He said he knew Knight was ambitious, and that turned out to be one of his worst qualities. And then Knight went to leave and shoulder checked him and then decked him. So I thought they might draw that out a little while longer, because like a lot of people, when they announced the Canadian pay-per-view, I was like, oh well, so they might draw out that tease, maybe not have him jump him straight away, and then eventually get to a big heated match in Canada. But they're doing it next week, So I guess not. I guess not.
I would have preferred, like you say, he's this heel who everyone hates. But he's like, well, Mike Bailey, I didn't do anything to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're still good. Like the end of the Dirties always. That kind of like, it's me. What's the problem? Well, why are you coming out here giving me all this aggro? I didn't do anything to you. We're buddies. Speedball, I love. His delivery was even worse than Kevin Knight's.
I know, yeah.
It was like watching two robots talk.
Yeah.
Because Mike Bailey comes out, and what you need from Mike Bailey here is like outrage and emotion, and like he's been betrayed by Kevin Knight. He feels betrayed. He's just spouting this like really unnatural written dialogue, and it came off very like he was repeating lines. Not a great start, but then what I did like was Taz just being absolutely like helping Kevin Knight's turn. Yeah, Speedball, sir. Why is he coming out here when Kevin Knight's face? I've been very much enjoying since he's been back. And his like he lays the heel shtick on. That's that little bit too much that I like enjoy. I think he's very, very good.
From there, we had the Jericho Ricochet rubber match, or would you call it a rubber match? I guess they technically only had one singles match to this point. Long match, not as good as the pay-per-view match, but I thought it was all right. Another decent performance from Jericho. Not amazing. Good back and forth contest. Jericho won, which I was going to say I was surprised by, but when they announced they were doing this match, I was like, okay, well, he's not beating him again, I don't think. Because at that point, it would be almost like you'd be assuming Jericho's leaving again. But yeah, so Jericho gets his win ski back. But look, I think he they gave Ricochet a lot in this feud, to be fair.
Yeah, it was fine.
No, I will say gave him a lot, but I mean, it was still largely boring. And do I think he's a bigger star coming out of it? No.
I think the worst part of this was Jericho's bum crack falling out of his trousers. Really upset me. I was like, I don't need to see that, Chris. It's just don't need to see your arse hanging out when you're trying to get the balls of Jericho on. It's a bit sad.
Although he did hit one of his better looking not co-regular, Judas Effect.
That was good, yeah. But wear some proper ties. Why is he wrestling in like fucking midlife crisis trousers?
Wow.
Ugh, dreadful.
And then he hit a not very good line as well.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that he can still do it at his age, to be fair, I mean, that's... The fact he can do it at all, give him that. But sure, yeah. But can we not have him featured quite so heavily?
Yeah. I mean,
he's the same age as Mick Foley, isn't he, nearly? I mean, how old's Jericho now? 55.
It is 50s, yeah.
55. Mick Foley. Actually, he's 56 this year. Let's look up Mr. Foley. Yeah, Foley's 61. Jericho should be doing the pre-show interviews with Renee.
Yeah, that's not a bad. That's only not a bad order. This is a weird thing when he came back as well, leaving aside how over him people are in general. But like, even if you look pragmatically at the roster, it's like, what's his use really? Because what do you think, again, like we were just saying there about him, they gave Ricochet a lot in this feud. It's like, right, but it's like he doesn't feel any different. Do you know what I mean? This is why Jericho's use, I think it cannot be measured in, looking at his cage match profile and going, when he lost to a bunch of people, it's like but he's not getting them over. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like, where would you slot Ricochet on the card now? Probably exactly where he was before before this feud. Above above Speedball Mike Bailey, but like below Will Ospreay. Do you know what I mean? He's in the exact same spot. He's an upper mid carder. Do you know what I mean? He was that 6 months ago, and he's that now. So yeah, anyway, there was that match, and he was Jericho. Before he even started to celebrate, he was jumped by Tommaso Ciampa, who's been on a good run, and we'll see what he gets out of Jericho. Another bald guy for Jericho to go. Let me tell you something. Bald. Did I say that? Bald. Another month of that shtick. Good. Andrade did a backstage segment. He said, now that stupid stadium stampede is over, amen, brother. I mean, who are you telling? Let me tell you. He said, MJF, you think you're better than a real Latino man? And he got real close to the camera and he said, how you know? So there you go. So they're still doing this thing where like everyone wants a piece of the world title, which I do like.
Yeah. Andrade. Oh, man. He is the real Latino man. Yeah.
With a 4-way. Superstation Showcase 4-way. I don't know what that means, but...
Well, they said on commentary the winner's purse was going to be something big. And it made me think, oh yeah, remember we made that new extra rule for the Fantasy League for the money matches, and then they did like one all year?
Yeah. And also, yeah, because I remember they made that reference on commentary, but I was like, but you didn't put that in a graphic or say what it was going to be. Like, I just felt very, let's spice up the show. Let's give one of these matches a name. So it feels like it's for something other than four lads having a match. So it feels like more than what it obviously was, which was just Roosh getting a win on TV because he's challenging for the world title soon.
Okay. Roosh versus Brian Cage versus Orange Cassidy versus Leo Rush.
Brian Cage, it's just gigantic. More gigantic every time you see him.
He's I don't want to speak ill. Like, he's going to drop dead of heart attack with days, isn't he?
Well, I mean, one thing I will say is that I wouldn't be rushing to see him and Ruth mix it up again, because they started this match off together and it was not great. They were kind of all over the shop, but the match itself was overall fine. Leo Rush didn't really do anything, even though he could be in there being a fun 4-way all action.
He did the little horse.
He did the horse. He pulled faces. He did. He did a spot with Orange Cassidy. It was hilarious.
Did he curse anybody?
No. I think this match was most notable for Jake Doyle coming back during it.
Oh yeah,
Big Pop,
which I was happy to see.
Big Pop, is that his nickname?
I do like him, Davis, and him, Davis, and Cage is a good team. I would say. I like that's a good team of hefty lads.
I will say, however, so it was on Collision. Wasn't it Collision where they had a impromptu match, impromptu type? Let's say they like won the match and then posed on the ropes, and the camera panned from like Brian Cage to Jake Doyle, and Jake Doyle is like this huge muscly man, but like next to Brian Cage, it's like he just looks like a fat clown. And it's mad because Jake Doyle looks like what a man who works out, who maybe doesn't use enhancements. He probably does use them.
Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, he's not doubling up.
He's like an action figure. He's like unbelievable. But it's funny because you put anyone next to him and they look silly. Like Doyle and Davis pair well together because they're both big macho men, but they're not like comically muscular.
That's a trio.
Brian Cage, who looks like Doyle or Davis, they look like
little weak,
out of shape.
Little coffin babies. That's the trios. Isn't it? The big bad beefy daddies against Operation. I'd watch that. I'd like that.
Why not?
Book that.
Roosh got the win. Backstage we had a segment where Kevin Knight confronted MJF, and then Kyle Fletcher showed up, and they just kind of had a little kind of eyeballing each other standoff.
I think with Roosh, I think it's funny that he kind of, depending on the crowd, he permeates back and forth between sort of over and not really over much. Because I think here he did his like, he goes to Gordon and goes, "When you mess with the bull," and then the crowd didn't really react, and then he did the move, and that was the finish, and the crowd didn't really react to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like Roosh a lot, but this, I don't know. I think this little mini push he's had has not actually really shot him up the card to the stage where the crowds are like reacting to him in any meaningful way. Although we did see the yellow cable, which was nice. That's been a while. That was the biggest return since Jake.
Yes, yeah. The cable was back. Had the Brawling Birds do a quick promo talking about their plans. Windsor alluding to her and her husband both chasing their Wembley dreams. So there you go. And Ada said one way or the other.
One way or another.
One way or another. So there you go.
Wink, wink.
So that match is next week, the wild card match. So there you go. MJF came out to do a celebration. He was cut off by Mark Briscoe, who in turn was cut off by Roosh. MJF was like, "I'm not going to give Mark Briscoe." I thought it was out because he's ugly. Chicken farmer.
Mark Briscoe looking ugly at himself.
yeah. They just cut to Mark Briscoe going, "Ooh." And then Roosh comes out and MJF's like, "Yeah, you kind of look like a star, so you can have a match." That was literally what he said. So they'll do Roosh next week, and I imagine Mark Briscoe might be. I don't know if he'll be on the pay-per-view necessarily, but certainly going to be one of the time filler challengers for MJF.
Yeah.
Then we had a thoroughly confounding segment. Okay? Jack Perry in his bus. I was posting about this on Blue Sky during the week. Is Jack Perry supposed to be like scary or like tough? Do you know what I mean? Because he's still doing his kind of like I've my knife and I'm if you don't like it, fuck you. But then he's like doing. They did a comedy vignette. They did first of all the one prize for 1 millionth wrestling thing to do a Rocky parody. The thing where he ran up the steps in Philadelphia and he mixed a bunch of eggs in a glass, but ooh yucky, I don't want to drink them. And then Luchasaurus drank the eggs. I was like, what vibe is this guy going for? Like, is he supposed to be funny? Like, is he, because he's not, first of all, these segments aren't funny at all. They have this weird tone of like, they had the one a couple of weeks ago where I'm like running in the desert and I'm climbing these rocks and but like he does all these things, but then he comes out to the, ooh, oh, ooh, oh, oh, and he does comedy. I'm just like, I have no clue what the vibe is supposed to be with this guy. I think, like, obviously, I think the whole scapegoat fake Raven character he was doing was terrible, but it at least made more sense. I kind of got what he was going for. This whole thing is just very confused. I don't think he knows what he's going for. And these vignettes are just rubbish. I mean, they're just rubbish. Say, whatever the guy does next, look, with all due respect, I think he needs to get away from Luchasaurus and the boss. I don't think he can still be Luchasaurus's buddy if he wants to be taken in any way seriously as like an upper mid-carder.
He should be in Ring of Honor.
I mean, that would also
put the Ring of Honor title. There you go.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's not that prestigious. Yeah. Maybe one of the trios. He could be a trios champion with the Rhodes brothers. Yeah, it's just like he drives a bus and he's got a knife. I mean, what is he like? It's not working.
It's not working.
No, and it's one in the latest of 3 gimmicks that is not.
I was kind of thinking, well, why isn't Sammy Guevara still on TV? Because if you've got this guy on, Sammy's no worse than him. Like, I don't like him either. But like, give him a run.
Probably a better wrestler.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like the part of the reason Perry is not in Ring of Honor is TK already had to send one of his faves down there. Sammy's like, I got to hold on to, because these are the guys he just loves. Do you know what I mean? He can't bring himself to get rid of.
They should have had those two wrestle on the pre-show of Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Like bookended with the 4 pillars. That would have been spectacular. But yeah, we didn't get that. Yeah. Anyway, that's enough Jack Perry for the week.
That's enough of that. Brody King defeated Claudio to advance in the Owens. It was a good meaty match. Threw each other around, hit each other hard. Not much to it, but it was good fun.
Solid.
So it is King versus Swerve next. So that's how the brackets are playing out. Cope and Cage came out to do a 5-second pose. Cope brought a bunch of disposable cameras, which I thought was cute.
That was good.
Threw them out. Chris and Cage didn't want to do it, but so they're still doing that whole thing where they're like an odd couple. But Cope handed them out, and they're getting ready, and they get jumped by the dogs. In one of the, again, we mentioned earlier about like Mark Briscoe and MJF. I mean, you want to talk about the big pay-per-view is in 3 months, so you have to do something before Wembley just to kind of get you there.
Yeah.
I mean, when the dogs get involved with people, it's filler time.
It's full of time. It's full of gold. Yeah, God, it's a weird one. I mean, really?
I thought they did a good job elevating the dogs.
I thought the segment was good. I liked that they did it. They did the little pose over them. They robbed the cameras. It was all right. I mean, the funny thing, the dogs are fine. You know what I mean? I don't really have a problem with them, but they are some fucking first hour of Collision wrestlers. Do you know what I mean? That is their role. And it's very much kind of like, okay, the obvious thing we're going to do is either the Bucks or the Bucks and FTR with you, possibly in some kind of ladder traption match at Wembley. So you've got to beat some mid-card heels until then. So there you go. Swerve did a promo on Brody King backstage. Not much to it. TJ, which is funny. I'm pretty sure they're called that because it makes it fun to say TJ. But of course, her name is not Tay Nero. It's Ty Mello, right?
Which Shivani said.
So he corrected him. So yeah, now they call them Ty J, which that's just not a good name. I would just call them Ty Mello and Anna J, to be honest, because Ty J doesn't mean anything. It is Tay J. Was right?
Her name is Anna Jai.
Yeah, get her to just change her name to Anna Jai.
She was from Northern Ireland. Anna Jai.
Anna Jai.
Yeah.
So Ty and Anna, pardon me, defeated Ava Everett and Ali Catch, two jabronis. Like 30 seconds because they're being heated up for the Amazonians, so they need to squash two jabronis. They were only mixing it up for about 20 seconds, but Anna Jay and Ali Catch was not good at all. Just the two moves they did together. But yeah, this is just them squashing some losers. It's two. I get ready for that. So there you go. Katie did a promo backstage, making the TNT merch for next week. So there you go. Which should stop the show. It feels very quick to do that. It feels like you're going straight to that, unless you're doing a non-finish and you're dragging this out a little while, which maybe they are.
Yeah,
but I think it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick to be going straight to this match.
Yeah, I don't know what the rush is.
Unless they just really, really, really want Kevin Knight up that card and they're like, right, that title off you, speedball, rear view, over and done with. We've got plans for you, Kyle, We then had the aforementioned Jack Perry losing to Mark Davis. Because I'm kind of enjoying Perry's matches. I don't have a problem with his matches.
No, then.
Yeah.
not moved by them.
They should move him to like a Dean Malenko character. It was like no character. He doesn't do that matches.
Yeah.
He's like a young boy.
Because Davis is great. Pyle drove Perry out of his boots. What was Perry's pants here? What was that? What was that about?
There was a lot of people this week wearing
odd things,
like neon green pants. What is that?
I realize this is none of the people who say this type of thing want to hear an argument to the contrary, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just so funny, like the idea that AEW doesn't kind of tell stories. We had this is a tournament, with the Owen Hart tournament, and like Will Ospreay's first round match, he had the Joe thing. Baked in story with Joe, trying to recruit him, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Next round, he's facing Mark Davis, the one man who beat him by stoppage when his neck was fucked up.
Yeah.
And so now, new and improved Death Rider Will Ospreay has to go against the man who beat him to a stoppage in a previous match. It's such great stuff. It really is. And that match is going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Obviously, that last one was very story heavy. That was Ospreay doing the stoppage stuff. So this, I imagine, is just going to be them having an all-out war, which I imagine will be great.
Should be very good. Yes, I did notice that. Okay, this win.
That's this fucking week, right?
Yeah. That's on Dynamite with Kev Knight and MJF Rouge.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Yeah, pretty loaded TV. Yeah, and we're making our way through this Owen. I will say, it seems like I feel like we're going to have our final set in stone a couple of weeks in advance, and maybe do some kind of build up to the final. Kyle Fletcher. This is technically on collision, by the way. For those who update your records, update your spreadsheets. Fletcher came out, did a promo.
That's why. Oh no, I was going to say that's why I didn't update the collision, but no, that was the other collision.
That was the other collision.
Yeah.
Fletcher basically just said that Takeshita was selfish and did it for himself, he didn't care about family and all this other stuff.
I thought he got the former moniker.
Takeshita came out with the conglomeration, the heel failed, so there you go.
How do you feel about Takeshita being on the conglomeration?
So long as they don't lean too heavily into it. I mean, that is
trying to give him a backpack and collision.
Yeah, and Roderick
did not come out with.
And Roderick Strong said, Takeshita! Oh, it's so funny when he does that.
I would rather Takeshita be a bit of a lone wolf.
Yes. Yeah. In a company full of stables, which is fine, I think he's a guy who probably, especially because he just got burned being in one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I realize he's probably not worried that Kyle O'Reilly's going to turn on him, but you know.
But also that they're specifically a kind of comedy team.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very serious wrestler. Anyway,
it is what it is. Will Ospreay and the Death Riders, which is Mox and Pac, defeated the Rascals. Haven't seen them in a while. Good match. Kind of late in the show to be doing a kind of 6-man tag where it's incredibly obviously one-sided. It was all right, though. It was all right.
Well,
Ospreay's new thing is the Death Ground, the armbar thing. He beats Myron Reed.
I hate it.
You don't like that?
Not at all. I don't mind the story that he's working with the Death Riders, and so he's got a submission. For a guy who does the Stormbreaker and the Oz Cutter, for his submission to be a armbar.
What should it be?
That something that's got a bit more.
You should do a flip into an ankle lock.
Something that's a bit more visually interesting.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. But I guess he's learning with the Death Riders who are like, well, we're doing jiu-jitsu in the dirt, man. You know.
But there are really interesting jiu-jitsu with, like fucking go-go plotters, or all a plotter.
Well, you want the Booker of Triple H to get on the phone and say, hey, kid, not okay with that. Gotta ask me.
Show how to do that. Oh, the other Booker, excuse me. Right.
No, yeah, I'm talking about the guy who did the go-go platter, the guy who made it famous. Because I invented it.
Yeah. Ospreay could do it well.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, one of the stories of this match was that Pac is seemingly not into this Ospreay thing. So Moxley's all going, about it. Pac is not impressed. So there you go.
I say Mox had a great week. Mox was great.
Yes.
He's always
spoilers for our Collision review. They had a number of different people on commentary, and most of them stank, baby, except for Mox, who completely blown up and unable to breathe after his match was still better than everyone else on commentary.
We'll come to the final commentary. I tell you what, when Mox handled the boot, get him in that boot.
Absolutely.
The guy is great.
On the subject of commentary, did you see this JR clip from his podcast where he's like giving out about? I guess he had like
You only got the commentary on one night.
he like an early. I guess his flight was early or something like that. It was 6 a.m. or some shit like that, and he was giving out about that. I was like, I know he's old. Fair enough, he's old, but I'm like,
Well,
if I had that performance on that pay per view, and then I went on my podcast to give out about the company, I don't think I would have the gall to do that and complain about my travel after like embarrassing, really being, if we're all being really honest, like embarrassing myself and having a really like subpar performance by the standards of this company.
Well, this kid worked in the travel department. Great future.
This youngster, I believe his name is Billy Joe, spry 82-year-old.
Now, when he was booking my flight, he didn't hold that enter button down. Both fingers, let me tell you.
This is bizarre, right? The Ops were backstage, and Samoa Joe was fucking off again. He just came back. I guess he's got another season of fucking Twisted Metal to fill. Something I don't know what it's about.
I love that thrown through a wall, right?
Yeah, he just said I'm leaving.
Hollywood calls you boys. Pop that back in the bin.
But this is the thing. So now this stable is now once again fuck Shibata and Anthony Bowens, and I'm just like, oh my god! It's like one tough guy and two of the fakest tough guys ever in the history of wrestling.
Well, the problem is they don't even try with them. Is the thing. The reason that they stink, like they had the match a few weeks ago, Ops versus. It was like not even the good Death Riders when they're like Wheeler.
Yes, exactly.
They fucking lost to them.
Yeah.
So why would you take this guy seriously? And then the one guy that you had legitimacy to him, Samoa Joe, was like, "Oh, fuck off, good luck." Nah, these are like the Ops are like whenever you're saying Mary about the dogs, I mean the Ops are like 4 levels.
Oh, absolutely.
Red.
I would rather like
the class to bring back reference review. We can go. They're the plops. That's what
I would rather Shibata was just a fly in the Don Callis family than saddled with these two. It's just
maybe they can do a transfer.
Yeah, something like that.
Shibata for who would be in the Ops then?
Who do we not really care about in the Don Callis family? Rocky Romero, yeah. I mean, I like Rocky, but yeah, pop. If you're gonna, he is low. He is on the bottom rung, isn't he? So there you go. Oh yeah, and they're once again doing this thing now where there's like dissension because like Hook is like, well, I guess I'm in charge then, and Bowens is like, so we'll see.
Lion leading the blind.
Lexi Nair was trying to get a word with Ty J, with the giant women beat him up backstage, and they were lying dead. There you go. And that was that. Andrade defeated Ace Austin. Again, this is pretty deep in the show to be doing a match like this. I mean, it really is Collision. It was all right though. I like Ace Austin, but pretty late in the show for this.
He had a great. The spinning back out there
was fabulous. Yeah.
They all Osprey style backbumps for it. Really good.
Did Andrade take pictures with ladies in this match? I can't remember. Did he?
Yeah, he literally jumped on his back and smoked.
Okay, I must have missed that. There you go. Then we had the lights out Philly street fight between Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. So they are finally wrapping up this storyline that I don't think anyone's really enjoyed. And I'm afraid I have to give this match -5 stars. I'm now this is a blanket policy. You can be having the greatest match of all time. You can be doing Omega Okada 70 minutes. And if in the 71st minute you do a spot where you pull out a weapon and go, no, I can't, and you put it back, I'm afraid you've been docked 5 stars. I'm sorry. So you've been docked 5 stars. Statlander pulled out fucking light tubes, and everyone goes, oh, they're gonna use fucking light tubes on TV. and then she puts them down. She's the baby face, and she pulls out the cool weapon and then puts it down instantly. And as we've talked about for weeks on the show, why are you hesitant about hitting this asshole with this weapon? You were never even really friends. You disliked her basically the entire time. This entire team has been going on.
You just do that around like chairs.
Yeah. God, I can't. That is my least favorite spot in wrestling. And everyone does it. Everyone is afraid to do their moves or use weapons. Or I'm hit with a tiger driver. What if I hurt him? Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Just do it. Just do it.
Use the fantasy league minus the point if they do it.
Yeah. Oh, well, unfortunately, because that just punishes us. I need to get onto Tony Khan and be like, you have to start docking pay if they do that, including the agents. I mean, it's just the worst thing in wrestling right now.
Especially when a feud builds to a lights out street fight, and you're doing, can I hurt this person who I'd give it a leg? Yeah, very, very, very silly. And they paid off the Statlander won't trade Harry Cameron storyline that we've all been just nailed to the television.
Yeah,
especially for. She ran out, handed Statlander the kendo stick, and she got the win with it. Very good.
I did like, as a payoff to the character, she did break the kendo stick over her knee and stab Sheeta in the head with it before the finish, which was good.
Yeah. Sheeta had a big old egg on her head
from this match.
Spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
And also, sorry, Sheeta was swinging a bicycle at one point, and Excalibur did not do the Dusty Roads.
No, he did.
I missed
But what happened was he did it, and he realized he's on commentary with a bunch of non-nerds who had no clue what he was doing.
I need to say he got it back,
which is funny because it's like, I guess, I mean, if you do a Dusty impression in front of Tony, he'd probably get it. But I'm sure Tony's probably normal enough that he doesn't know that the bicycle thing is a Dusty reference. So Excalibur, he did get it in, yeah. She'd also ran over Statlander's fin with the bike, which is actually a very nasty spot.
That was a good stuff.
One thing I will say,
same as when Pat Connors jumps on Christian's arm and he just had it like under the stairs. I was like, how did it?
Those, they used the light tubes, they broke the kendo stick and stabbed with it. Not to be bloodthirsty, but it's kind of just didn't. Lights Out is usually like craziest match they ever do. Do you know what I mean? It's always the nastiest, most, and it did really hit that level to me. I think you probably could have been fine calling it a street fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it was a collision main event rather than a.
It sure was.
Street fight.
It sure was.
It didn't approach the Willow.
Oh God, no.
All that stuff. Nothing close to that.
So yeah, that was Dynamite / Collision. That was it was an okay show. It felt long. These 3 hour shows are feeling long. Yeah. They are feeling long.
And then we had Collision.
Then we had regular Collision,
which Ryan Garcia Kanosuke catch was really good. Being epic.
Yeah, If the third hour of Dynamite feels like Collision, then Collision really felt like Collision. Let me fucking tell you. I'm looking. Yeah, we don't need to run down this show because it's just like it's a lot of it.
No, Mox on commentary was great. Mox obsessive, and the character motivations based on what pants they were wearing was very rare.
Minus 1,000 aura points for Persephone though. Fortunately, she was brutal. She was absolutely brutal. And what was tough about it was, I guess her character is kind of like, it's like The Rock. She refers to herself as Persephone. She's like, and Persephone is the god. But when you're doing that, but you don't have the actual confidence to pull it off. So it comes off like, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So she was commentating the Hazuki versus Maya World match. Shane Taylor did commentary for 2 matches. He was terrible as well.
Really
bad. I mean,
he was like that fellow who paid to sit at the end of the table at WrestleMania. He's a guy, like Aaron Donovan.
Speaking of that, did you see that? Like on the subject of the guy who paid it, there was like two guys on Cody Rhodes' podcast. They're just like some rich arsehole and his son.
Yeah,
Just two guys who obviously paid to go on it. Well, what is this money laundering operation that's going on over there? Like,
If anyone wants to pay to be on this show,
yes, to be clear,
send
yes.
us an offer. We don't mind.
You weird, mysterious man who sat at for one match, if you wanted to pay us, and sit there, and we won't even give you a headset like they did, and you can just sit there. You can just be on the call. TJ went to the limit with Divine.
There should be some kind of test you have to pass to be allowed the outcome. Like you have to have a certain.
I think they do. They are very laissez-faire about Collision. I think Collision is the place where they like to just take a chance on these things and like maybe see if and so they'll be like, all right, you two never again. Ciampa was okay. Ciampa was okay for the first 2 minutes.
Ciampa was okay. And then Ciampa did the Jericho parody thing, the list 100.
Yeah,
or reasons why Jericho.
that was cute, and and he was like, we've both been in business for years. I've been in the same company. Just kind of basically just said he hated him, which was fair enough. I was like, I just doesn't like him, which is as good a reason as any. He was good on commentary though. He was scoffing at all the best friends stuff, all the hugging and all the nonsense. He didn't have any time for that, which was funny. Looking at this rundown here, TJ went the limit. It was all right. That match was okay. That's on Collision this week, and it is 2 hours of Dynamite and regular Collision this week, I believe. So the TJ title match is on Collision. Not really much. They did a nice tribute to Dennis Condrey. Shivani just had an extended segment where we just spoke about him, and there was loads of photos. It was very nice. And I think that was it. They teased Sky Blue and Tekla dissension, but then they laughed and said, "Oh no, we're not actually going to fall out over the Owen." No. We've talked on this show about how there's no clear direction. I even though they laughed and they were being heels, like, "Oh no, we're not actually going to fall out." Part of me did think, okay, but is that a red herring? And they actually are going to fall out over it, and Sky Blue might actually make a run. I would not enjoy that. We had another WWE segment where the conglomeration were backstage, and just like when WWE would pan to the Boogeyman or whatever, Leo Rush is just like walking past backstage, and Orange Cassidy's like, "Don't move. If you don't move, he can't see." It's like, oh God, it's dreadful.
It's like you're in pain. It's probably like that umbrella.
And I think one other bit of news, I suppose, from this, they announced they are going to do a survival of the fittest for the TBS Championship, which is a long-standing Ring of Honor gimmick. 6 qualifying matches, and the winners go into a 6-way crazy match where elimination rules, and the winner is the new TBS champion. So another quasi tournament, not really a tournament, but it should be interesting enough. Yeah, we'll see. 6. They could throw together 6 interesting names for this, but that was Collision.
We're skipping the biggest news story of the week.
Was that?
The Guns got there to do their entrance again.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Smart. After they fucking didn't do it the other week, and they looked real angry about it.
I bet. Yeah. I'm sure. Lots of people were annoyed. Chief among them, probably those two.
They got the full entrance here, and it was great. And then the Dogs I thought had a very good match.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it.
It was a solid match.
This is the one where Mox was talking about all their pants. Mox, just great. And then, Brian Cage, Jake Doyle won a match, and then Takeshi Garcia. Best match of the week, maybe.
It was really great.
This was a good 4.5.
Oh, okay.
The Observer.
Oh, that's the Observer prediction. Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, definitely.
That's my Observer prediction. This match was great, especially the home stretch. Even Garcia's best showing in forever. This was popular.
Yeah, you couldn't help but watch this and think, man, it's been a while since we've had a good Garcia, match on TV.
There's the Takeshita guy. Very good.
Turns out, yeah.
Even feels like Takeshita had a little bit of a lull for the last while, but with the Okada match and this guy's very good.
And that was Collision for the week. Loaded Dynamite this coming week. So we'll see lots of newsworthy matches there to keep an eye on. So that's the wrestling for the week. Movies. Who's seen a movie this week? I have no seen a movie. Who has a movie they want to talk about?
Movies. Both about different kinds of drama.
Go on.
We'll start with the more interesting of the two, which is directed by Julius Avery.
Okay.
It's The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh, yes.
Barry,
Yeah.
You quite enjoyed.
Yes.
This is Julius Avery of Overlord fame, which I've not seen, but I know people did quite enjoy. Pope's Exorcist. I'm kind of in two minds of this, so hopefully you'll understand what I mean when I say I gave it a low score. The very rare low score on Letterboxd, but I still hit the heart.
Right.
On it. So the opening scene, right? You've got Russell Crowe on a moped that seems like 15% too small for him, which was a very funny visual. He goes into this little family's house where there's a session happening, and he is the Pope. He's the titular Pope's exorcist. And he goes down and sits down. And the older brother is possessed. It's your typical exorcism, which I think is one of the film's main problems, is that it just does exorcism in the way you've seen done 1,000 times before. It is literally The Exorcist redone, right? But don't worry, because Russell Crowe is here to save the day, here to carry the film to an extent. Because Russell Crowe, it was so much fun. Right? So he sits down and he's saying, "My boy, what demon is inside you?" And then the man says, "Oh, fuck your cunt inside out," or whatever these Exorcist movies typically say. And they bring a pig in, right? Little pig. And Russell Crowe is doing his best, like Super Mario impression. He plays an Italian priest. So he's like, "Hey, devil, why you don't go in the pig?" And hey, come on, go in the pig. And then the devil goes into the pig and they shoot the pig. And it's like, right, scene one, there was an exorcism. He got done in like 30 seconds flat. So I'm like, all right, this guy is the best exorcist in the world. He's going to go fix all these problems, lickety split. And then you have, then this, it cuts to, this got me worried, because anytime this plot device is introduced into a movie, it doesn't always go well. Annoying children characters. And the one son, who they very specifically cast a really weird looking child to be possessed, with a really long like neck as well. And he gets possessed, and then the movie gets really fun, but like really strange, and borders on like a superhero movie at points. I mean, I thought it was a very fun movie, funny, and I'm sure it was like unintentionally funny, but I found a lot of it very, very funny.
Yes.
Russell Crowe in particular, anytime we would cut to him on his elbow, it's just holding it.
"Hello, it's me. I am the Pope Exorcist." Yes.
Oh, the Pope. And his little Italian accent. Oh, and not great CGI. I don't think. No. And yeah, like I said, any scene that has to do with the actual exorcism itself, it's like, by numbers. You got the neck turning around, you got the foul language, you got the red eyes, and the, all of that. So anytime like there was an exorcist on screen, actually I thought the movie was pretty good. But overall, I would say, yeah, would I say it was a good movie? No, not really. But it was one that was kind of fun nevertheless. I kind of enjoyed it despite itself. So that might be one of the very few ones. I gave it 2 stars, which you might think of harsh stars. The heart on Letterboxd, which I don't think, that might be the only time I've ever done that. That's a very, very rare occurrence. So in a sense, Julius Avery, you have achieved a very
rare accomplishment.
Yeah. Objective. I mean, yeah, in terms of those kind of movies, we obviously have the high art horror becoming very off the moment, right? Mm-hmm. If you're in the market for something that takes itself a little bit less seriously,
yes,
you want to have a fun movie to add to your Halloween list, you could do far worse than The Pope's. If you're in the right mood for it and you don't take it as seriously as the film does not seem to take itself, you will have fun. That's my review.
Alrighty.
And then the drama.
Yes.
Starring Robert Pattinson and Zendaya.
Yes.
Really great. Really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard really good things.
What was funny about it, and hopefully, if you guys are in the same boat as me, I would encourage you to stay in that boat. I thought I knew what the premise of this movie was going into it. Turns out I actually did not. My understanding was this is going to be a rom-com, but in the style of The Bear, where it's actually going to be like everything's starting to fall apart.
Yeah.
It's all tense and in the lead up to it. That's what I understood that the movie was going to be. No, not really. It's got a very different element to it that I was fully unaware of. So again, if you are in the same boat as me, stay in that boat and go watch the movie. You'll be surprised by the direction it goes in. Let's put it that way. Really great black comedy / drama. I guess it's kind of drama, but it is funny and it's intentionally funny. Great performances. I do like Robert latest thing where he went through this period in the like late 2000s, early 2010s of being the vampire Hulk.
Yes.
Little girls love sparkly Robert Pattinson. And now in 2025, 26, in every movie he's like doesn't even brush his hair. He just looks like
disheveled Pattinson.
Yeah, he plays very much into that archetype here. All the funnier then that he's like marrying Zendaya. But they touch on how that comes to be. Zendaya very good in it as well. Maybe one of her better performances I've seen. Alana Klein, also in it, of the band Haim and the movie Literature Pizza. She's also very good in it. Yeah, good in cast. Well written. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. Funny. 4 stars, right? So, maybe not one to watch in the lead up to your own wedding.
Right.
It's a good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the drama. I want to see that.
Yeah, drama is very good. Very, very
good. Joe?
Yeah, watched new release The Bride from Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yes.
Which did not last long enough in the cinemas for us to catch it, but we were looking forward to checking it out. So this is our second Frankenstein movie of the year after the one with the big lad, Lordy.
That's right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't read a lot of reviews and stuff, so I don't know what the big disappointment with this was specifically the people had. Went into it quite just fresh, knowing that it had flopped. So it's Christian Bale as the monster and Academy Award winner Jessie Buckley as the bride of Frankenstein. Yeah, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think that's a directorial debut. I'm not sure. It's kind of a Bonnie and Clyde retelling of The Bride of Frankenstein. So Christian Bale's lonely. Frankenstein's lonely. He wants a mate. He's been around for 100 years. It's in 1930s, kind of America. Flappers and Chicago and Al Capone and all that. So they get a cadaver. He finds some mad scientist. And they get a recently deceased woman, bring her back to life, and this is kind of got to convince her that she has an accident and forgot that they were married. I'll be honest, I'd probably have a few more questions than that. She sort of believes it. She's a bit of a character, so she kind of goes with it. So it's then a kind of them on like I say, kind of very like Bonnie and Clyde or Natural Born Killers. It's this kind of romance going on a crime spree kind of story. It takes a lot of kind of big swings. It's a bit kooky at times. If you thought Jessie Buckley went big in parts during Hamnet, good Lord, she goes quite big, quite big for about 2 hours during this one. Okay. She does not hold back. But saying that, Michelle and I both really enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of, yeah, sort of kind of kooky and a bit kind of precious at times. But I actually thought it was quite fun, like just sort of big, silly performances and a lot of kind of, I mean, beautiful like set design and look to it. I hope this must have been a really expensive movie because it looks expensive. Really kind of shot well, a lot of nice sort of ideas to it. I could see maybe people not liking it if they thought it was a bit cringe, but I'd rather have a little bit of cringe and someone try to do something a bit more interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, and I think the performances were good. Yeah, Penelope Cruz pops up and as Annette Bening as well in supporting roles, and they're very good. I'd say the weakest part of it, I won't spoil if you watch it, but there's a kind of an opening sort of preamble before they really get into the story that's a little bit confusing and maybe too much of a leap, given that you're already having to introduce like Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. I didn't quite. I kind of got what it was going for, but also kind of just throws you off the story a little bit. So maybe I probably would have cut that, but yeah, I think once he actually gets into it, it's pretty good. And it's very funny choices in it. I like it. God bless Maggie Gyllenhaal. This should put something decent out there.
Yeah, I want to watch this. Yeah. It was kind of funny watching the word of mouth on it be so bad. I think like you were saying there, I think if it is just very kooky and doing its own thing, I mean, people probably just wanted it to be Frankenstein and they're, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. There's so little wiggle room for things like that. If people are expecting one thing, I want to check it out. Apparently, this is her third film she's directed. Wow, she made something with Olivia Colman,
daughter, which we both really like.
Oh yes,
Justice League, of course.
Oh yes.
The movie, Barry.
Yeah, I love Olivia Colman, so I'm sure that's good. Yeah, I see some good reviews here on The Box. I might add that to my list. Yeah, I'm going to check out The Bride. I didn't see any films this week. I want to go and see The Back Rooms, but I have heard the cinema etiquette for that is atrocious. Yeah. It's also funny to watch speaking of the word of mouth on that seems quite bad because I haven't seen it yet and I want to see it. It looks really good. Despite they got a 20-year-old YouTuber to make it, it seems like by all accounts it's like a good, fairly slow moving and cerebral. When you picture an A24 horror, it seems like they made one of those, right? It's slow. It's not it's not a scream. You know what I mean? It's not. It's a little bit slower, and it seems like obviously just the children who watch Roblox Backrooms content on YouTube are going in and going, "What's this? This is rubbish." And I've just heard that it seems to just be attracting the worst behavior possible.
So why is Renate Rentevi not doing things?
Well, yeah, she should do 6'7". Why not? I mean, So no.
I understand. Cynically, I feel like this is the kind of movie that'll be online in like 2 weeks anyway.
Probably, yeah. Although it's a huge hit.
I'm working next weekend. So I get a chance to see it until not for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, actually, I thought I was going to go see it this Friday. I forgot. I'm again the aforementioned streaming. I'm watching the fucking Keeley thing. So that might be a stream job for me as well. Once it hits the streaming.
Same that happened in the bag until I watch.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I do want to see that, and I do want to see Obsession. I have no time to go to cinema at all.
Yeah. I forgot to mention, maybe I hadn't seen this interview. That's like when I was talking about Obsession last week to tie it all together for us here on this pod. So the director was a comedy guy on YouTube, as a lot of people in horror seem to be, and he had a small role on Always Sunny a couple of years ago. He's speaking role, but a small role. He was like a cashier or some shit like that, and he turned on FX to see his Always Sunny episode, and before FX, episode of The Simpsons playing with the monkey paw. And that's literally where he got the idea for the film from watching the monkey's paw, not even reading the original book, watching the Simpsons episodes. And it's like, wait a minute, that's good. I can do something with that. That's worth seeing. That's the movies for the week. Telly, not a bunch of telly for me. I finished season 1 of The Comeback. which I talked about a few weeks. Really enjoyed that. Looking forward to watching more of that. Lisa Kudrow top notch in it. What's the first episode? Did you know Rick and Morty's back?
Still going, is it?
It's still. I mean, did you know it's still going? Is the question you could you could be asked. I watched the first episode of season 9. It is right. I think this is third one without Roiland. I think second, third one without Roiland. I can't remember.
Yeah,
it was all right.
So it was nice.
Yeah, it was perfectly watchable. It's perfectly enjoyable.
Again, that's kind of why I jumped off that.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
It was. I watched the first season with the new voice actors. And it was fine, but I can't just watch the show. That
exactly. It feels like a lifetime ago, but when you watch the first 2 seasons of the show, you're like, my God. I mean, this is the bang for your buck on these episodes is just so good. It's just so great, so clever, so funny, so creative, and even before they got, I mean, just around like I can't remember. I rewatched them all recently, but I can't pinpoint it. Somewhere around like 5 or 6, season 5 or 6, it was kind of like, all right, we're kind of losing the thread on it here a little bit. It's still fine. Occasionally, it's really good, but like not constantly. So yeah, it's in that groove, which, as you've said, is. It's you're not really inside. In fact, I just watched it because I was looking for something that I could watch in 20 minutes before we started this podcast. So I was like, oh, it came out a week. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'll stick it on. That's a shame. Anything for you, Joe?
Well, I caught up with the boys, watched the last 3 episodes there. Yeah. Homelander, you can't. Yeah, I can't really remember what happened in the finale. Yes, before that, I'll be honest, it just kind of washed over me. I remember the fish man got eaten by fish or something. That happened. The French man died.
Did you get eaten by the French?
I think he got eaten by a Frenchman. They'll eat anything, to be fair. Oh, mon ami, what are you talking about, you French can? Yeah, I mean, I've been high on the show. I thought the finale was fine. I don't know, again, similar to The Bride, I don't know what the conversation is around the boys exactly. I've seen people complaining about it, saying it was shit, whatever. I don't specifically know what they wanted or expected from the end of this show, like exactly. To me, you got the final showdown between Butcher and Homelander in the Oval Office, on live TV. That's a perfectly good finish. They rob him of his powers and then he has to beg for his life. I mean, that...
Yeah.
How else would you finish it? I thought it's great.
I thought that for all its problems, I thought like that's. I mean, that had to be the conclusion of the show, right? Yeah. It's like he loses his powers and then he's completely at his mercy, and of course, like without his powers, I mean, he can't even throw a punch. He's like a weakling. He doesn't know how to fight.
He's nothing.
Not that well. Yeah.
I was perfectly happy with that, and I even liked the kind of little twist afterwards. Spoilers if you. I've already spoiled it.
I think if you care, you've watched it. If you care, you've watched it by now. Yeah.
And then after that, Butcher's like. Even though he's killed Homelander and kind of ended the sort of, regime of the Supes, he can't give up on it. He's too, embedded in this. This is what all he knows now is killing Supes. So I like that ending. I think it gave it, a nice kind of conclusion for that character and for, what's his name? Huey or Stewie or Louis, whatever his name is. Yeah, so it was good. It was good. And then they go back to the original shop where his girlfriend got killed, and that was a nice little tie-in. So I thought it was a perfectly good finale to what is like a decent show that started quite well, went on too long. People get too wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Like, chill out, everyone. It's only a TV show. It's supposed to be entertaining, isn't it? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. It was. Yeah, I think the season overall was pretty dull. But yeah, the finale, because even like you said, the Butcher thing as well after Homelander, like, again, you kind of felt like that would be the logical conclusion, because one thing I mean, I did get bored of, not even just this season before, but I mean, it's just constantly the boys get back on the same page, and then Butcher pisses them off again, and they all, and then he gets them back on side, and I was like, well, the obvious conclusion here is that he just has to be killed off because he's just. He'll never be easy to deal with, and so I think they got a lot of these people to their logical conclusion. But yeah, one of the funnier things I didn't want to get into for spoiler reasons because we were watching it was like this is a trope of mine. I hate when there's a very powerful character or weapon or something like that in the possession of the baddies. And then when the goodies get it, it's instantly useless and stupid. When Sage joins the boys, and the first thing she does, who's this like smartest person in the world, who's been like a terror for like a season and a half, manipulating all this propaganda war, 6 moves ahead of everyone, instantly gets it wrong, and is then completely useless for her remaining 2 episodes. I mean, that was ugh. I was like, oh my god, that is so lame. That is so lame. Yeah. So you know, all in all, the show said and done, I mean, I think it ended up being an overall okay show. It's not very strong. There was some fun stuff. I wouldn't throw the entire thing out, but yeah.
No, I would not probably rewatch it.
No.
I kind of, because I'd like, some of the episodes were like really entertaining and I kind of would like to, but it's kind of one of those shows you can't just go back and watch. Oh, maybe I will. I'll just go back and watch the one where Ant-Man explodes in a cock. That was good.
And you'll be like, you'll get your fix out of that.
I'll just watch that. It's probably on TikTok, isn't it? I'll just watch that on TikTok. It's fine. Easy. Done. Yeah, so it was good. So I don't know what we'll move on to next. I'm eyeing up Hacks. Obviously, we got the World Cup around the corner, so I don't want to commit to too much in the way of new shows. But yeah, Hacks looks good.
Yeah, I haven't started the second season of that, but I'm going to. What else is on at the moment? I'm not really watching much current stuff at the moment. Hack's technically done now, I guess. That was a current show. It's now over. How do I check what I'm currently watching? Serialized. That's that show, that letterbox knockoff thing for TV. Currently watching Rick and Morty Hacks. So yeah, nothing current on television that's pulling me in at the moment. So maybe this is a period for the backlog. Alrighty, that's TeleGuff. Paul, you and I have both been playing some 007 this week. First Light from the fine folks who brought you them recent Hitman games. Where are you roughly? How much time you dumped in? Where are you at with the game?
Not far, I'm afraid.
Oh, really?
I'm going to let you down. Again, it's just timing. Okay, just purely timing. I just don't have a lot of free time.
Okay.
This last week. And when I did have free time, so basically what's happening is, you might recall last October, I told a story where I was, there was a big go live at work, and I worked a 17-hour shift over the weekend. Is that like used to have this? Yeah. The work is just so crazy that either I'm working, or when I finish work, I'm so exhausted. Yeah, I just want to throw myself down in front of the TV and watch Task. And so, like I said, I've not played as much Bond as I wish that I had, but I have. I've just arrived at this nightclub that I'm seeing all over social media. So I've just begun that mission.
Okay.
I did the little intro / tutorial where you wash up, and you're being instructed by the lady's voice in your ear. Go here and do this. And then I did the kind of training that I thought both were excellent. Obviously the early days, right? But it's obviously different enough being the hitman while retaining the stealthy aspect of it, I guess. So in both sections that I played, which I want to say in total 2.25 hours ish. Very different that there was like branching paths, and you have to find these two prefabs in the snow, right? And how you get there and how you get that's up to you. Figure it out. And so I like that element of it. Especially when I accidentally made myself apparent to some enemies, and then immediately afterwards saw a path that I could have taken, and then there was something right there instead of punching down the field and whatever. So it has that little loop to it, which I do enjoy. I think to enjoy the game, I just have to accept as in this. Even though it looks a lot like it plays a lot like it. Those elements are just not all going to be there. It'll scratch there into some items, but look, at the end of the day, it's not. It isn't a that type of thing, right? So, that is what it is. I think the story so far really good.
Yeah.
I like the way they've set up the Bond character as this really green, hockey, dickhead, basically, but with a heart of gold. And I like the tertiary characters. One with Hugh's lab. Of course, I had to correct everything.
Same. Yeah. This game in general, I'm interacting with every little newspaper and every little doodad I can pick up.
Yes. I mean, look, my impressions so far are very, very positive. I like the story. I like how it plays. I like how it looks. I accept that it isn't Hitman, so I'm not going to criticize it for not doing things that Hitman does. Even though I think it's a good branching decision for them to have used some of Hitman's mechanics while doing something different. I haven't hit too many super linear feeling sections of the game yet. That would feel something like Uncharted. Maybe somehow has that initial mission where you're investigating the base or whatever. That's very quickly kind of opens up. So even that mission, not so much. But yeah, even though I haven't played as much as I would ideally like to, and I don't know what that's going to look like this week. Like I've accepted that this game is I'll probably feel like the end of the month and no quicker than that. But initial impression is really good. And of course, the fact that it has its own James Bond like theme song and opening section was really cool as well. But yeah, thumbs up across the board. How are you feeling and where? Obviously, you've much further than me.
Yeah, I am about 9 hours in.
Okay.
I don't know how many chapters are in the game overall, so I actually don't know where I am. But the story is certainly advanced. I mean, much like an actual Bond movie, kind of like it sets its table, and then there's not quite a twist, but it's kind of like it takes a while for you to go, here's what's really going on. I've kind of gotten to that point now, just about now, like last time I played it, where I'm.
I was wondering about like how far into it are you? And I said, well, I just reached. I've played for 2.5 hours. I just reached chapter 2 because I think the first one is chapter 0.
Yes, yeah,
and then there's chapter 1, and now I'm on chapter 2. Even though I've played a few chapters.
Yeah, so I'm thinking probably based on what I've heard, I'm probably like slightly less than halfway through there. I will say that early on, I was feeling very much like it is. Like, because the people kind of elevator pitch this game as kind of like Uncharted and it's Hitman a little bit. Early on, I was feeling like it's kind of just Uncharted. It's kind of and there's some like Hitman sprinkles on top. I will say the deeper I've got into it, I've seen a little bit more Hitman-y stuff. I will say. Now, this is also I feel like this is a more kind of linear and it is a more kind of it's less punishing than Hitman, which some people might take as a negative, but they're different. You know what I mean? They're just not they're not the same thing. There are, once you get, the tutorial is quite long. You are learning, I would say you're not even really finished yet, Paul, with the nightclub. The nightclub is still in its own way, still kind of on rails. You're learning a little bit, a section. There are several big open areas later on in the game where it is very much like, okay, approach this however way you want to approach it. But where it's a little more forgiving than, say, a Hitman game. In a Hitman game, when you're like an hour into a level and someone just stumbles across a body that you stashed 20 minutes ago, and the leg was just slightly out from a corner, and so someone saw it, and now your outfit's gone. This game has none of that, even though it does have a lot of the same elements. There's like a situation contained mechanic where basically. One of the early missions that they showed off in a press event or in one of the streams was a chest tournament. Like, it's the first time they showed gameplay and it really looked like a Hitman thing because like big opulent posh building, multiple entrances, and you can do it however you want. You can distract this guard, you can get a disguise, you can climb on a wall kind of where no one's looking. And what's fun is you'll be sneaking around, going into areas where you're not supposed to be, and you can get caught and It has a bluff mechanic where you can kind of tell people, oh, I'm just here looking for someone, so I actually work here, and they'll buy it. You have limited uses of that, so sometimes you'll get caught and a fight will happen. But unlike Hitman, where it's like, all right, if one enemy shoots their gun, I'm basically fucked. Whenever I play Hitman, I just reload. Yeah. And the second the gun goes off, that's it. In this game, it's kind of like the room you're in, the dudes will come and fight you. They'll try and call reinforcements. If you can cut them off from doing that and then beat everyone up, no matter how much noise you make, and you're throwing people through tables, you're smashing their heads into glass, you're picking up environmental objects, clocking them over the head, you can create all that havoc. But so long as it's staging at one room and they don't call reinforcements, you'll get a little message saying you contain the situation. And it's like you can kind of Bond style adjust your tie and go back to schmoozing and kind of like, you know, smooth talking your way through the rest of the mission. It's very forgiving like that, but it's also quite, you know, quite like Bond like, you know what I mean? You can get rumbled by a guard, but so long as you take him out in quick order, it doesn't really, you know, derail your mission. So there's Hitman-y stuff in there, but I think they've struck the balance really, really well. You know, it is quite linear, obviously, because those segments I do feel like they are kind of special. There's a lot of walking, a lot of talking. The vehicle segments I think are the weakest part of the game, probably overall so far. They're very limited. None of the vehicles feel great to control, but it doesn't really matter because you're in them for 30 seconds. Again, Uncharted style. Oh my God, I'm driving a car and there's explosions around me and there's a guy driving near me shooting me, but I'm not really in danger of him actually shooting me because this is just a little playable vignette, you know. But it's really, really good. I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Like you said, the story is really good. For anyone who wasn't aware or hasn't seen much about this game, it is a legitimate origin story. Like, first mission you're playing as Bond in like the SAS. Like, or he's a first airman for like the Navy or something like that, whatever his origin story is. And something goes sideways and he has to improv a situation to get out of it. And MI6 is like, oh, interesting. Come speak to me, young man. And so you literally, as Bond, meet M for the first time and meet Q for the first time. It is the earning of the 007 badge. That's the story of the game. And it's really well done. Like you said, it's like he's got all the Bond traits you want because it has to, right? He has to have all the traits, but he's brasher and louder and pissing everyone off around him because he's still figuring things out. But he has this undeniable knack of getting out of these wedges, and it's very, very well done. I like all the characters. I like all the performances, and obviously it feels like it's made by huge fans. Do you know what I mean? It has all the stuff you'd want. You know, he's sweet talking ladies. He's got a bunch of wacky gadgets. You know, it's got all that stuff. So yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm curious to hear what you make of it if you play a bit more of it. But it's certainly scratching that itch for me so far.
The only concern I would have is how successful is it, critically and commercially. What that means for it. Like, is the next thing they're going to put out the next James Bond game? Do you know what I mean? Does Hitman go on the back burner, or do they have resources now with these successes such that split and make Hitman now? You know, because obviously we love
yes, of course,
the fact that it's. I don't necessarily want James Bond to become the new thing, but obviously it being as successful as it is, I understand if that were the case. And whether I know that the practical simulation, is that what it's called?
Tax simulation.
They could add to that more Hitman feeling stuff. But
I haven't done any of that yet. I'm very curious I'm curious about it because there's definitely been sections I've done that you haven't gotten to yet where I've thought to myself, okay, there is multiple different ways I could do this. I've also like failed sections and then replayed them and like bluffed my way into the same area twice and had a completely different line of dialogue. Like they've stuffed this, like it's quite linear in some ways, but when they do open it up and give you room to play, I think there probably is actually a lot in there. So I'm curious how that tactical simulator stuff works. Yeah, in terms of Hitman, I mean, it does feel like for all this stuff, it feels like they have kind of been trying to put a bow on Hitman for a while. I feel like they've had a couple of instances of kind of saying, funnily enough, this is even before, what's that roguelike mode they added, whatever that's called? Freeloader or something, free runner, whatever it's called. You know the one I'm talking about. I feel like even before that, they had said that, you know, the previous update prior to that, that's our last bit of content for Hitman, and then they put that out. So, you know, they're constantly coming back. But I feel like after, a decade and 3 games and tons of DLC and tons of live content as well, tons of like elusive targets and stuff like that, I feel like I don't know if they necessarily want to make another hit, man. I suppose it's been a while since the last stage, but I'm curious what their appetite is. They did so much with it. It seems like this has been a hit. So
the issue I get is that no one else is making Hitman style games.
Yeah. So
if you like we are super into that, you're just starved for that kind of content since last 5 years ago. I know they make extra content. They put out extra content.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
If you're jonesing for a new Hitman game, I don't know what that's something like for.
So we'll probably have a follow-up convo about that next week. Although like you were saying, I don't know where I'm supposed to be in more time to. I'll try and keep at it. Tease at the beginning of the show, Joe. What's the book called?
We got some books. I read 2 books. I read Klara and the Sun, which is a novel by Kazuo Ishiguro. I've reviewed before on the show. He wrote Remains of the Day, Never Let Me Go. He's a Nobel Prize winner, so people, he's fairly well known. So Klara and the Sun, it's about a robot that gets adopted by a family in a sort of mysterious role. We don't know exactly why. We know that something's afoot, but we see the whole story from the robot's perspective. Mm-hmm. Kind of a humanoid robot. She's there to kind of serve the family, and we kind of see her gradually learning like how human emotion and why humans say things they don't always mean, and what it is to be human, and this. So it's similar themes of for a lot of his books of like a character who's kind of not quite sort of human or kind of isolated. Sort of learning from sort of other humans. So it's a really nice book. I was very into it. I think because of the nature of it, like the robot feels very childlike, and so in a way the book feels very kind of childlike, almost like a children's book. But, I wouldn't say it's more complex than that, but it does feel a little bit like that. But I thought it was very kind of interesting, quite moving at times. But yeah, I certainly enjoyed it. I would recommend that. And then I also read a more recent book, Rejection by Tony Tula-Timute, who's a Thai-American author. So this is a collection of kind of a collection of short stories, but sort of intertwining short stories, all about kind of terminally online incel type characters. Now I know you're thinking, I've read enough of that online already, but that's it was actually very, very funny and a very kind of like precise dissection of a lot of kind of performative like feminism. Some of the characters ultra woke feminists that end up becoming incels. You've got kind of characters that are terminally online and express, complete detachment. It's a very funny book, especially I think for millennials. Like there's certain bits of it where it gets into internet culture of like, the 2000s into the 2010s that just resonated a lot with me in terms of like forums and Twitter and torrents and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a really interesting book. It's very kind of metatextual as well, like or kind of metafictional. Like towards the end, it kind of starts to circle in on itself a little bit, which I like, but it also maybe goes a little bit too up its own bum towards the end. But I thought it was well worth the read. I was kind of racing through it towards the end because I just wanted to finish it because it was so good. So yeah, I would recommend checking that out if you're looking for quite pushes the envelope, let's say. Some kind of shocking stuff in there, but a very interesting book. So it's Rejection by Tony Tula-Timute. Very good.
Alrighty. A little bit of a highbrow there, reviewing books on the pod. We are capable. We do it.
Speaking of highbrow, just uploaded the artwork. So...
wait. So we got okay. Okay, the name is great. The name is great. What's the yellow thing?
The yellow cable.
Oh yes, yeah. Inanimate carbon rod.
I think in this is kind of the manager of the big bad beefy daddies.
Right.
I think, yeah.
Well, does Roosh get a cut of that?
Well, no, they're feuding.
With custody of the cable.
The cable turned on him and said, "You people don't deserve it.
You people don't deserve to know why."
Yeah.
Alrighty, excellent stuff. That's going to do it for the pod this week, folks. We'll be back in some capacity next week. As I say, either we'll do a late show or the boys might go on without me. We'll see. But there'll be a show. You know, CSB. There'll be a show in some capacity. Don't you worry about it. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to check out the Fantasy League in real time. Paul updates that for us every week. And also you can go there and pop us an email if you have a question or a thought or a take you want to share with us. You can do it there at the website. So until then, it's going to be goodbye from me, Barry. It's goodbye from Paul. Let's goodbye from you.
Goodbye, everybody.